Welcome back to Mega Man, everyone. Today we'll be taking on the final two bosses, and then we'll be moving on to our next area. So in these videos, I just realized that I only recorded them in 30 FPS instead of 60 FPS. That's going to mess up some of the attacks of one enemy and the Dr. Light capsules. I apologize for this in advance. Cyber Peacock stage is pretty neat. I'm guessing the idea behind it is supposed to be that it's taking place inside the internet or whatever passes for that in the universe. So it's kind of like Neuromancer, Snow Crash, The Matrix kind of combined. The first part's a timed attack. You're graded on how fast it takes you to get to the end of the stage. Rank of S will give you a special item, a rank of A will allow you to clear, and a rank of B will force you to repeat the stage you're on again. The little yellow balls that spin around will hold you in place for a few seconds and electrify you, so it's pretty imperative that you avoid them at all costs if you want to get an S ranking. The soul body from Split Mushroom will one-shot them immediately, otherwise your normal X-Buster will just push them away instead. You can get Hurry Up to appear, but as long as you hit the ending before the down arrow shows next to your character, it'll still treat it as the highest ranking you could get at that point. For completing the second part on rank S, you get the energy tank. We'll be going back to get the S ranking for the first stage in a few videos from now. I totally recommend abusing the soul body if you want to try and get the S ranking. You can probably get it without abusing it, but it's just so much simpler to one-shot them and move on. And with that, we get our S rank for the third part of this stage, and we'll be getting our special item. So now we finally have the head upgrade, and that allows us to use all our special weapons uncharged for free. Charged effects, which will come when we get the cannon upgrade, or I'm sorry, the chest upgrade, will still cost you energy. Area 2 is kind of neat too, in that whenever you hit those little switches, the ceiling and floor switch places. And the idea behind it is that there's going to be those purple balls later on that you need to use in order to break tiles to advance. The problem with this part of the stage, though, is that you always just hit the switch and go to the right. You never have to backtrack and go to the left or find something there. It's always just go to the right, hit a switch, go to the right, hit a switch. Here I just backed up to show you that there's nothing new over there. I don't know how to avoid that without taking damage, so screw it. Just take damage, move on. So if we didn't hit that switch, for whatever reason, that ball wouldn't have fallen onto the platform and destroyed it. I guess a ball fell, you can kind of see it dissipating. But that's the area too. Like I said, just hit the switch, run on the right. I would have preferred had they switched it up just a little. But now we're going to move on to our next boss, Cyber Peacock. I left in a death to show you guys his attacks. He does not pull off this attack in my kill attempt. He fires off projectiles that will home in on you, and even then, if they explode, the explosion stays around for a little bit, and you can take damage from that. And his other trick is to just teleport next to you and hit you with the projectile like that. And that's kind of the boss, in a nutshell. So now that we got our head upgrade, we can just go ahead and spam Soul Body at him, and not have to worry about him at all. I totally recommend moving at all times on this stage instead of standing still like I am, just so you don't have the chance of him teleporting on top of you and you taking damage from it. Like right there. I would just recommend dash jumping the entire time, and then when he sits still, that's when you come out and hit him with the Soul Body. Much like Split Mushroom and Magma Dragoon, you can see who Cyber Peacock's allegiance is to by his boss health bar. When we take on Storm Owl next, you'll see that his health bar is different. If you played a Mega Man game, though, especially Mega Man X, you know who the final boss is going to be. This should not come as a shock to anybody. All in all, I did enjoy the stage. Area 1 especially is pretty fun. I wish they made improvements to Area 2, though.
You got aiming laser.
We'll see aiming laser come up, that's Storm Owl's weakness, in the next stage. The idea behind it is that you use the control pad up and down to move a cursor around in a, what is it, like a 90-degree arc in front of you. Storm Owl's a kind of neat stage too. They give you a new armor to use in the first area, and then the second area is all about avoiding laser enemies and a mini-boss. I believe it's called the Eagle Armor. I don't have the instruction booklet in front of me, so I apologize for not having this information in advance. You can charge up the Buster. It'll hold you in place, unfortunately, but it'll fire off 3 little beams that'll home in on any enemy on the stage. If you hit jump again while you're in midair, you'll hover at that height. Any damage you take will somewhat lower you, but still keep you hovering. While you're hovering, you can charge up a shot and continue the move, so if you have to keep a charged shot, make sure you're hovering before you do so. So it's supposed to look like Independence Day there, with the red laser coming down, but like I said earlier in this video, I recorded it at 30 frames for some reason, and it's just not showing up. Just use your imagination, I bet it'll look better than what the game would have shown. I should have been dead to rights there. There's no way I should not have taken any damage from that. So we're nearing the end of Area 1. You can just basically dash your way there now. And as soon as you hit this platform, you're done. Area 2. I would recommend using Soul Body here. It kills those enemies ahead of time, and it also destroyed the door, I guess you could call it, before he gets to attack. Their laser beams will traverse through the stage. Your X-Buster will be blocked until you upgrade it. Speaking of upgrades, make sure to jump at your highest height you can, throw a web there, and we'll find 2 new Dr. Light parts. So this cannon's kind of neat, although it doesn't fit with my playstyle, so I don't really use it that much. Instead of firing off one charge shot, you can charge up to 4 and then fire them off. The problem I have behind this is that you can't save any. As soon as you charge it up and stop holding the charge button, you have to fire them off. This is the arm cannon I like to use. Basically, it's a more powerful X-Buster that will penetrate more targets and leave damaging spheres of energy behind. Thank you, Dr. Light, we know what that does. So that's the... oh. Whoops. But now I at least get to show off the plasma beam before we hit up the mini-boss. It's really nice. We'll see in the mini-boss that the sphere will continue to damage people, even while it sits there. So I'm not sure if this boss has a weakness other than the X-Buster, but it's a pretty easy fight enough where you can just use the X-Buster and not have to worry about it. Just make sure you're always killing the enemy that's on your level, and then take out the eye when it opens up. I guess if you really wanted to with the plasma cannon, you could attack the middle part without worrying about killing the enemy to the left. Because when it hits the boss, even though its eye is closed, when it opens it'll still take damage from plasma. But who wants to make things easy, right? So now that we took on a mini-boss, how about we just take on a boss? So once you target the enemy with it, you could basically go anywhere else on the map, as long as they're still in view, and hit them. So if I wanted to, I could lock onto him from there, wait till he's almost at the end, and then hit him with the beam from there. Storm Owl doesn't really have that much in terms of attacks. He'll try and swoop down to grab you. He'll attack from the top left and top right with a spread gun. And then he'll also try and create some cyclones under you. Not much to write home about.
You got double cyclone.
You got Green Bay Packers uniform. We'll see Double Cyclone once. I hardly ever use it. It's not that effective of a weapon. So my favorite way to stop the Colonel is to use Fox Die. But for now, we'll just go to Spaceport and stop him here. Spaceport's kind of a fun stage, even though they don't have any new unique enemies for it. There's just a lot going on. A lot of bottomless pits, a lot of enclosed spaces with enemies that bounce around. This is why I like the plasma cannon. The nice thing about Spaceport 2 is that it's only just one area and not Area 1, Area 2. Ooh, almost pitted there. Come on, can't I get up there? There we go. So now we kind of leave the platforming behind, and we just get into our enclosed spaces. I'm terrible at avoiding those shots, holy cow. Not much new in this part either, it's just a lot of the spiked balls and the standard Reploids we've seen. But luckily there's a hidden cache up here. Full health. Now we can take out the boss proper. So I have to apologize, in episode 3 I said that the Colonel was weak to Lightning Web, and that's not the case. He's actually weak to Frost Tower. I try and showcase it here, but we'll see.
Been waiting to fight with you.
The Colonel's upgraded a little since we last fought him. His attacks come much quicker, and he'll have 2 additional attacks since the ones we've seen. It's still the pattern of top, bottom, top, and you can dash to avoid them. Here's his first new ability. I recommend using the hover booster to avoid his attack, so you can plant yourself in between the two. Here I'm trying to showcase using Frost Tower to hurt him. Unfortunately, it doesn't stop any of his attacks. It seems like he doesn't take that much more damage from it. And I died for trying something new. So I totally recommend just using the X-Buster. And especially when he's dashing in, he doesn't seem to get affected by if you drop a tower down immediately. I don't know how much more damage he takes from a fully charged tower that creates spikes.
I've been waiting to fight with you.
So just go ahead and use your Buster. And I completely forgot how to avoid that the first time around. Great. Just hover in between the 2 sparks. They'll pass harmlessly in between you. If you want to, now that there's walls in this stage compared to the last time we fought Colonel, you can climb up the walls and hug them until he's done with his attack like that, or you can just dash, jump, dash. This is his next attack, and final one that we haven't seen. To avoid that, if you get close enough, you can air dash over it easily enough. If you're too far away, you should hug the wall, climb up it, and then dash over it like that.
Time to get serious.
That's the end of Colonel. So in the next video, we'll be taking care of any items we may have missed, and then we'll be going on to fight a mystery boss and then the general himself. And after that video, we have our final boss left. We'll see you then.